suggested that Gillespie was definitely going to win universally. I was asked by Andrew Klavan, who I thought was going to win. I informed him I no longer bet on elections after 2016. But if I had to lean, I would have been leaning toward Northam, the Democrat in Virginia. It wasn't just Northam winning, it was Northam winning big. And it wasn't just Northam winning, it was Democrats down the ballot winning in enormous numbers. So Republicans going into this particular election cycle had, I believe, 66 seats in the state legislature. They finished last night with 47. So they just got shellacked all the way across the board. And it wasn't just Republicans in Virginia. Democrats picked up a couple of seats in Georgia, excuse me, in the state legislature there. And the state legislature, those seats were so red that Democrats had not run in those districts for the last election cycle. They ran this time, and they won. Okay, not just that. The governorship of New Jersey is lost. Okay, that you could have predicted. But the Washington state legislature turns from Republican to Democrat with the loss of a legislative seat in Washington. What this means is that Democrats are outperforming the polls. It means that Democrats are showing up in bigger numbers than Republicans were assuming that they were going to. And there are a bunch of Democrats, including radical Democrats, elected across Virginia last night, including the first transgender delegate to the Virginia House of Burgesses in the history of Virginia. Obviously, this is the second transgender delegate, I believe, ever to any legislative body. I think the first one was in 1992. It was actually a Republican in Atlanta. But in any case, the Democrats are celebrating this as some sort of massive victory. So we're going to analyze this from a couple different angles because there are a couple of different narratives that are now taking effect. One is that this was just inevitable. Okay, Virginia's been moving blue, particularly Northern Virginia, near Washington, D.C. Everyone who was in Washington, D.C. working commutes out to Alexandria, and that's where they live. They all live in Alexandria in the northern portion of the state, and that part is becoming more blue and more populous. And so this was just the natural after effect of all of that. And there is something to this. So this is a map tweeted out by someone named Jamie Dupree. Jamie Dupree tweets out a map showing on the bottom, you can see the 2016 Clinton-Trump map, right? Hillary won the state by about 5 percentage points. She won at 50 to 45. Northam won the state by 54-45. And then you see the top map. Right? The top map is last night. And you do see a couple of big transition points. Okay, the first one you see is if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, facing it anyway, of the map, what you will see is Virginia Beach, right? Virginia Beach was red in 2016. Now it is blue. So Trump had won that. He lost it last night. You also see some of the blue areas becoming bluer. The red area is becoming lighter shades of red. So the entire state is moving toward the left, and it has been for quite a while. The 2016 map, between 2013 and 2017, Virginia moved steadily Democratic, certainly since 2009 when Bob McDonnell won by 17 points in the gubernatorial race. The state has moved dramatically to the left. It's also important to mention that the gubernatorial loss is not unprecedented. So Trump is the fifth president in a row to have his party lose both the Virginia and the New Jersey gubernatorial races in his first year in office. So he lost this year to Northam and a guy named Murphy in New Jersey. In 2009, McDonnell won and Christie won. They were both Republicans after Obama was elected in 2001. Warner and McGreevey won in the various states. Republicans have not been winning in Virginia for quite a while. McDonnell is the only major victory in Virginia, but the state legislature has been heavily red for quite a while. It no longer is. Okay, so this is sort of the extent of the analysis that a lot of people who are pro-Trump want to do. Right, the extent of the analysis is the state was already moving red. What are you whining about? Right, Trump lost the state by 5, so last night Gillespie lost by 9, so Trump is better than Gillespie, so what's the big deal? Right, the state was already moving in the wrong direction. What are you whining about? I think this is far too simplistic because, again, off-year elections are bad for presidents. They are bad for the president of the incumbent party. And that means that Republicans are likely to be in trouble in the House. So the average loss in House elections for the last 50, 60 years in off-year elections has been around 25 seats. Republicans have a 23-seat majority in the House of Representatives right now. So if just the average swing happens, Republicans lose the House of Representatives. But we were told that Trump was going to win like no other. Winning, right? So that's a bit of an excuse. But let's take it at face value. The question isn't whether Republicans lose 22 seats. The question is whether Republicans lose 30 or 35 seats. And what we saw last night in Virginia was a wave. And that's a combination of factors, in my opinion. That is, yes, places like Virginia moving to the left. But more importantly, it is a very unpopular president. Remember, Trump is unpopular right now, and he has 3 to 4% economic growth every quarter. If the bottom falls out on the economy at any point here, that dude's going to be in the 20s faster than you can say anything. I mean, it could really fall apart very quickly here. Unpopular president. Off-year election, Motivated Democratic base. The Democratic base is motivated for two reasons. One, they despise President Trump, and without Trump on the ballot, a bunch of Republicans didn't show up. And two, Republicans also didn't show up because Hillary Clinton wasn't on the ballot. The big difference between 2016 and 2017 is not Trump on the ballot, it's Hillary Clinton not being on the ballot. Hillary Clinton not being on the ballot was a major boon to Democrats. There's a solid case to be made that Democrats minus Hillary is greater than GOP plus Trump. That, in other words, the Democrats gained more by not having Hillary on the ticket than the Republicans gained by having Trump around, especially in Northern Virginia, where the Republicans just got wiped out. In Loudoun County, right, which is the D.C. exurbs, in 2014, Ed Gillespie, who ran for Senate in 2014 in Virginia, also ran for governor last night in Virginia. In 2014, Gillespie won Loudoun County by 456 votes. Yesterday, he lost it by 24,000 votes. 24,000 votes. That is a massive shift. And one of the reasons for that shift is that suburban people did not like President Trump. There were exit polls yesterday showing from ABC News that the people who said they voted because of the president voted 2-1 against Gillespie. So there was a big move against Trump here. And that does have an effect. So an unpopular president, a candidate who's trying to run a Trumpian campaign when he's not really a Trumpian, the fact that the Democrats are jazzed up about 2018 in a way Republicans are not. Republicans haven't done anything with the legislative power they have. Also, it is quite possible, and this is the contention that I have been making for literally a year since the election, literally 1 year, because today is the day after the election. The case that I have been making is that Hillary Clinton, President Trump, that President Trump did not actually win the election. Hillary Clinton lost the election. No one showed up to vote for her. And the evidence that I base this on is that in Wisconsin, what you see in Wisconsin is an actual loss of votes from 2012 to 2016. Mitt Romney won more votes in 2012 than Donald Trump won in 2016 in Wisconsin. Trump won the state, Romney lost the state. That's because people showed up to vote for Obama who didn't show up to vote for Clinton. In 2004, George W. Bush won more votes in Michigan than Donald Trump did in 2016. Trump wins the state. Bush loses the state. Why? Because people showed up to vote for John Kerry, who didn't show up to vote for Hillary Clinton. It's that simple. Well, that's what you're seeing now. Democrats did not vote in the last election cycle for two reasons. One, they thought Hillary was going to win in a walk. Right? That's what the polls were saying. The New York Times was saying a 99% chance that Hillary Clinton was going to be president of the United States on the morning of the election cycle. Right? That's what they're saying all the way up until the evening. A 99% chance that she was going to be the next president of the United States. And so people didn't show up to vote because they figured she's going to win anyway. What does it matter if I go to show up to vote? And two, Hillary's the most off-putting candidate in the history of American politics. No one wanted to get out and vote for her. She's not on the ballot anymore. You know who's still on the ballot? Trump. So now you get what the Democrats thought it was going to be. There was a big argument in 2016. Is this election about Trump or is it about Hillary? Right? You got to pick one. Is it about Trump or Hillary? I said the entire election cycle was about Hillary Clinton. Hillary was bouncing around in the polls. She was going everywhere from 50 to 40. Where was she going to end up? That was the big question. Trump was very steady between 40 and 45, always. Right? And it was usually between 43 and 45. And I figured, okay, 45% is not enough to win. It turns out it is. But bottom line is that now you get the referendum on Trump. The referendum on Hillary is that everyone thought she was terrible. The referendum on Trump, now that no one else is on the ballot, is that Trump is not popular. Okay? And that does